Hey guys, Pitch here, welcome to the channel. Today I'm just going to do a quick and dirty update for the League Starter build. I want to get this out as quick as possible before the League starts. These sort of update videos, I'm not going to say they're going to be common, but I'm going to put them out when I feel like they need to be put out. And that's just a way of maintaining the build as we go forward. So look out for these. I'm going to make them as quick as possible so it doesn't take up a lot of your time. Like I said, it does need to get out quick, so apologies for the quality. I don't think it needs to be any better than this. It is what it is. I'm just going to go through some items that I feel need to be covered. Okay, so let's get into it. Number one, leveling. So the way that I displayed the build guide was on the left-hand side, you had all of your skill links, and on the right-hand side were points of interest. And I've still had people asking me, well, what gear should I use while leveling? I mean, the answer is right there in the points of interest. You need to focus on resistances and life. There's no point me homing in on, oh, you should be getting this exact helmet, like, because there's just a billion rares available. So pick up and equip anything with resistances and life, and that includes chaos resistance. You want your chaos resistance to be at 0% by the end of the campaign at least, and you want your resistances to be at 75% capped. That's ideal. And your life as high as possible. So that's all I can recommend for leveling gear. Number two, Ruthless is not available at level 1 as a witch. This was an oversight by me. Somebody in my Discord, I think Angron, pointed it out, so thanks a lot for that. I appreciate it, actually. I don't want anyone to panic about this. It's not a big deal. There's two options. If you really want to pick up Ruthless, then you can start as a Marauder. Go into Kill Hillock, get into Lion Eye's Watch, actually buy Ruthless then from the vendor, put it in your stash tab, and then restart as the witch, and that way you'll have access to Ruthless. And the other option is just to forget about it, just use SRS and Holy Flame Totem until you get to level 8, and then link Summon Raging Spirits with minion damage and Infernal Legion, and that'll take you all the way to level 18 where the build guide then stands going forward, or the links stand. The third point is Flasks, Flasks, Flasks. Get into the groove of using your flasks as much as possible. Find your own little way of getting all 5 of them going as much as possible. They are really, really important. They synergize so well with the aura effect, especially for your survivability. It provides you with so much evasion, so much armor, and when we push to the next phase, you're going to see just how much of a difference that makes. So I just want you to get into the habit of using your flasks as much as possible. Okay, when we got to phase 1, I actually stated in the build guide that you need 1% primordial jewels and the cold iron points to be able to switch away from the clay shapers. What I want to stress here is that switching out to your cluster jewel setup and your cold iron points is massive for the build. It's game changing for the build. So I don't want you to let the 1% primordial jewels stop you from making that switch. With that in mind, just get any primordial jewels. Like, if they're really expensive, it's going to be a while before you can get them. Just get ones that aren't corrupted, and then look to swap them out later. Making the switch to your cluster setup and the cold iron points is extremely important. Phase 1 and 2, so my build skill trees were level 68, and then the next one was 80, and at that point we'd made the switch to the clusters. This may not be a reality for all of you. Some of you may push past 80. There's just going to be times when you're going to have spare skill points lying around, and what you want to do with those spare skill points before you switch to CI is just put them into any life nodes. So in your skill tree, you can search for life and pick up any ones that are easily accessible, and then you'll have to respec out of those later when you switch to your cluster setup. Map mods to avoid. Again, good question. I didn't cover this. This is a full physical build, so you want to avoid at all costs physical reflect. Your golems will die instantly. And also mana regen maps. I'd reroll those as well because they're not fun to do. You lose access to your convocation and flame dash, so unless you take a mana flask with you, but I tend to just reroll them. In phase 3, I talk about getting a 1% intuitive leap to swap out the non-corrupted one that is already in your build. Now, there's actually another option there. You could get a 1% Might of the Meek. So it can be either Intuitive Leap or Might of the Meek. The reason I just want to mention this is because I don't want to create too much of a demand on one certain item when there are options available. So you can get one or the other, and that should just alleviate this supply-demand issue. I put phase 3 there for the amulet. It's actually phase 2 when I recommend switching out the amulet. And um, I agree with what somebody said in Discord. I think the 7% amulets are going to be quite rare, especially early league, and because of that, they might be expensive. Again, I don't want this to stop anybody from getting as far as they can. So you could always pop in a 5% mana reserved amulet with clarity at this point. Make sure it's got Champion of the Cause still as the anointment. And that will allow you to progress into phase 3. The one thing that will allow you to not do, that doesn't make any sense. The one thing you won't be able to do is activate Aspect of the Avium. So at the end of phase 3, if you're still running a 5% amulet, you just won't be able to run that last aura. So always look to swap it out for a 7%, but you can still progress with a 5%. Okay, like I said, I needed to get that out quick because League start's not too far away, and I wanted to inform everybody of these just little pointers here. So, guys, have an amazing League start. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.